Good afternoon, everyone. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
So, I think we have everyone. I was just leaving a few extra minutes the first time since. So yeah, I think everyone is there now. I will start by introducing myself. My name is Dominic. I have been working with Logivision for the last 8 years. I did start by working in the customer service, so I was doing support by phone and emails. I still do it sometime when they have too many calls at once. But as we speak right now, I'm mostly focusing on training, professional service, so custom report, custom SQL query if you need them. As you may heard, my first language is French, so I do believe I'm good enough in English to give you this training today. But if there's anything that you don't understand or you want me to give more precision, if I'm not clear enough, don't hesitate to ask me. Also, if you have any question during the class, you can, well, during the training, you can always interrupt me and I can answer you. Of course, if it's something that we're going to see in the next few days or later this afternoon, I might tell you that you will get the answer after. I will also, after every section, ask if anyone has any questions. So you can always wait for that moment. I'm keeping an eye on the chat. If you prefer to write them down instead of speaking out loud in the training, you can always write them in the chat. Just so you know that the training is being recorded right now. So at the end of the class today, I will send you all a link to get the file for the day. And we're getting someone that's just joining. Just 1 sec, sorry. So we are today quite a big groups. But I'm very confident that we have enough time to answer all your questions and to cover everything we have to do today, even if you interrupt me. So don't hesitate. Also, I would like to mention I give you all an access to our knowledge base. So you created your account with your password by, in an email that you received from the C2 Atom portal. This also gives you access to the help file that was written by our team. So we have some the most common error. We have some information on how to do some procedure or how to do some discount and everything. So that's part of the knowledge base. I will use some article during this training. So at the end on Friday, I will send you an email with all the article I use for this session. So you'll be able to revise them if you need them or if you want extra information. Of course, unfortunately, I will not be able to cover all of them since there is around 2,000. But I'll try to give you the one that I found very useful in the day-to-day operation. So without any further waiting, we can start right now. I just want to make sure that everyone has the SQL Server installed on their computer before we start. This will allow us to install LBus. So don't know if anyone encountered any problem or if it went well during the installation.
No, it installed just fine for me.
Perfect. So let's just start right now. The latest version that we have for LBus is 50.15.67. In the meantime, that this version or for LBus, we can use it with SQL 2008 or anything more recent. So we can go up to 2019, which is the latest version that was released by Microsoft. On my side, I'll be using 2019. So if you have installed 2017, it's all right. The interface will look quite similar. It won't be too different. And we will start by installing LBus. When you download LBus, well, I have extra files since I got it from our server. So let me just get rid of that, just so we're matching the same thing. Here you have LBus and LPOS installation. We will start by launching the LBus install. Oh, I forgot to change my regional setting to English. Guess you will not like my computer if I leave it in French. Let me make it easier. Instead of doing it on my computer directly, I will use the virtual machine that I have ready for that. Sorry for this little situation. So here, it will be better in English. So when you launch LBus, you will be prompted for a UAC prompt. So you just say yes. It will ask if they want to apply some modification. It's fairly common to LBus. Sorry for the copying. I just want to make sure everybody is able to see my screen right now.
Yes, I see it.
Thank you. Sorry, the office network is not that fast, as we can see. So here we're back to LBus. So that's better. It's in English instead of being in French. Of course, it's not that different, but just want to make it easier for everyone. So we answer yes to the UAC prompt. The installation of LBus is very straightforward. You see the installing file right now. That's a software that we call L Solution Restore. So every time you install LBus or LPOS, this software is being installed automatically in silence. It's very quick, so less than a second. This software allows us to do a backup of the system. So if we want to move the LBus from one machine to another, including the database, it will include everything. So LBus, just for everyone to make it clear, it's a Logivision back office system software. That's what the letters stand for. So the LBus will be the server on the back, or even on the same lane. If you have a very small store, you can put it on the same machine that you have the point of sale. So we're going to start by installing the LBus, our back office system. Of course, here we'll select English. We'll read the warning. Here's the license agreement. If you feel like reading it at some point, you may, but it's something that I guess most of everyone will do next and not take care of it. So the license agreement we do next. Here we have our release note, so all the change since all the version that LBus was released. So again, if you're looking for something to read before going to bed, that's the perfect thing to do. It will help you fall asleep right away. Here we have the different LBus types. So in a regular store, we'll have the LBus, so the regular LBus. That's what we will do today. But we also have the regional and the central. The LBus central is when you have a multi-store situation. So you will have multiple LBus store or regional talking to the LBus central. The LBus regional, it's let's say per region, like in the name, so regional. So you can have a few LBus store talking to LBus regional, and this regional will talk to the LBus central to send the information from the store. So you're controlling multiple store in a specific zone, or for let's say a specific owner. You can see all the sales from all this store, but still at the head office of the company in LBus central, you will have the information there. And also, are you able to see my mouse? I know sometime with Microsoft Teams, the mouse doesn't show, so I just want to make sure you're able to see it. I might be pointing some stuff.
Can't currently. Can you move it around a sec to see if it moves? No, we can't see I don't see the cursor.
Oh no. Okay. So I'll try to highlight what I'll be showing you, because yeah, if you can't see my mouse, it's not a good thing, I guess. So so LBus. So today we're going with the LBus. We're going to do a new installation. So new install. Upgrade is when you want to move from one version to another. So we cannot downgrade, we can only upgrade. So right now we're going a new install of a new site. Here is where we will be installing LBus. So for me, it will be LBus. Let me just verify if I have another one on the machine to avoid any duplicate. So on my side, instead of calling it LBus, I'll call it LBus Training, since I already have an LBus on the computer. But the name here is really free. You can put whatever you want. Okay. So here it's to add it to the start menu. I'll just go with next. Today we're going to see really the basic of LBus, so the installation of the back office, the point of sale. I will explain some information on how the communication work, what the groups were reporting and stuff, how it behaves on the system. So just to, of course, it might look very simple for now with the next and everything. I don't disagree. It's not the most difficult part, but I just want to make sure that everyone is able to have an LBus running. So when we will continue tomorrow and the rest of the week, you can do the configuration on your side and give it a try on your own. Sometimes it's easier when you do it than just looking at it. So while it's installed, we can look at the screen, because as you can see, I don't have an SSD on this computer, so it's taking a while, but normally the installation is very, very, very quick. Do you have any question for now, or is everything all right?
Is part of the training going to cover the upgrade? I know we're doing install now, but any part of the next couple of days, do we go back and look at doing upgrades?
Well, it's not planned, but if I cannot. The way it works actually for the training on Friday, we will have some free time. So if you want me to show you how to do an upgrade, I'll write it down, and on Friday afternoon we can upgrade the setup that we have to see how it goes. Of course, now we're installing the latest version, but on my side I can always show you with a beta version that is not quite released on how to do the upgrade.
Okay, thank you.
Let me just write it down.
Dominic,
but the upgrade is very similar to I'm sorry.
Can you discuss for a minute store numbers for customers such as us that have multiple people going through the training simultaneously?
That's exactly what I will talk about in the next when the installation is finished. So, but I can always start right now. Yeah, since there is multiple person in the same office, we'll have to use different store number because on the network, we're only allowed to have one store of each number. So on my side, if I decide to be store 1, no one else in my office can be store 1, otherwise there will be an error. So if you're multiple employee in the same office, try to use different store number. So I don't know if you can talk to each other and see which store number you want to use. We can go from 1 to 999, so it should not be difficult to have different store. I don't think the biggest number of person we have is 4 from the same office. And Brad, I just saw your question. It won't be too long. So we can go with a different store number per person to avoid having the same one. Otherwise, your LBus will close. We always have a way to make it work if it happens. But for today, we'll try to avoid using the same store number. So on my side, I will go with the 689. Just before, I'll just cover the this window. So when the installation was finished, I did click finish to open this window. So that will decide if we're going to use LBus Store or LBus workstation. So LBus not store, sorry, LBus server or LBus workstation. The LBus server is to tell the system that this will be your main LBus, so that where your database will be, that where your all your information. So it's called the 901. That's the name we use. So a 901 is the LBus server. You can also have LBus workstation, which will be 902, 903, 904, 905, etc. So the workstation will be connecting to the LBus server. So it will be an image of your server reading the same database, but it will still need the LBus server to be able to run. So the 902 is just really an empty shell connected to the LBus server. You can do exactly the same operation that you do on the server, but in the end, when you will execute something or want to send anything, it will be the 901 that will do it and not the workstation. Actually, it will be the server that will do it and not the workstation. But the workstation can ask the server to do it for them. But for today, we're going with the LBus server. Here is the configuration. So that's the company name. On my side, I'll go with Logivision. You can leave it empty if you don't want to enter anything there. The address. Been a while since I've been to the office. Sorry for the address. I don't quite remember. So here we have some option for allow multi-store selection. So that will mostly be used when you have multiple stores. Today we will not check it out. But if you have a central with different store, this option will be required to be able to see the on-end for other stores and the inventory status and stuff like that. The allow creating new station, we will need it later today to install our point of sale. But sorry, this is just to tell LBus to install a new lane, to create a new lane. So if it's not checked, even though we were trying to install the lane, the LBus will not answer because it's not listening for a new request. This option is very important when you're on a VPN. And let's say you have all the lanes and all the store on the same VPN. In some situation, let's say if you have a few hundred store and they were all answering the request from one lane, you had to say no to a few prop until you get the right one. So this option allows us just to get the answer from the one we're looking for. For now, I'll leave it unchecked. The format is really for the phone number, so that's how we want the phone number to show. On my side, I leave it really basically. Smart card WIC is for WIC. I know we have a lot of US technician and people on the call, but we also have a few Canadians. So WIC is for women, infant, children. So it's a benefit program to help everyone buy some food, some specific article like produce, milk, bread. As a Canadian, I don't think I'm the best person to explain how this works, but that's WIC is very popular in the US as we speak, and that's something we're working on. So we have access to some setting right here. I don't have the license to show you right now, but that's Wix. We have the e-commerce. This tab will be changed shortly because we're working on a new project for e-commerce, so this will not be there anymore. LV receipt is to send, but not to send, but to save customer receipt on a website. So let's say you're a customer and you want to see all the transaction you made, you can access the website to see that. And advance is extra option that we can customize. Next here, okay, so I would just go with the Brad question before. How will we be notified of when a new version come out? Normally, when we release a new version, we release it we release one version every quarter of the year. So let's say the next one will be in March. Right now, there is an email that is being sent to all our resellers that are part of our newsletters. So you will get an email for the new version too. Asking you if you want to go download it on our website and install it manually. There's also a way to download and install the version automatically in the store, so you don't have to intervene. You don't have to go in the store and do it. It will do it automatically with our server. That I will cover it later this week, showing you the menu and where is the auto update feature and how it works. But for now, yeah. So when we have a new version, we send an email. If there's a new feature, we will mention it. If you need to access the bug fix that were corrected, you can always get in touch with our support, but it will be on our website under the README section. So we will put the README there with all the bug fix that we made. Anyone have any question before we move to the database creation?
No, we're good.
So we'll go to the create database. Here we will have to select our database server. So that will be the one you installed earlier, let's say last week or this morning. At some point on my side, the list will show. Oh, here it is. So my machine today is VM-Windows 10. So I'll go with 2017. Oh, you're getting an error. What error are you getting? You can always send a screen capture in the chat if you want, or just write it down. That's bizarre. Would you like to share your screen with us so everyone can see? I'll just stop sharing mine.
I'm actually using a different station to do this. I'm not using the computer. I'm using Microsoft on.
Okay. Okay, and you already have a name there. Is it possible you already have LBus installed on this machine?
I shouldn't, because my boss Bobby already set this up for a new install. Let me try one more time.
What you can do when you do the install, at the moment where you have to enter where to install LBus, just change it to LBus training like I did, or LBus test, and it will not install at the same location. So
Okay, so would I have to cancel out the configuration and reinstall it?
Yeah, I'll show you quickly. I will not complete the process, but just to show you where to change the name. So I don't know if you can see. So I'm English, next, agree, next, LBus, new install. So instead of calling it LBus like that, you can change it to test
training.
or training, or you can put today's date, so we're sure there's nothing conflicting, and you can do next. So this way, if there was already an LBus install, we won't be touching it, and you will be doing a new installation.
Okay, I did it. I'm just waiting for the files to install again.
Perfect. So just follow up with the SQL. Of course, when we also I forgot to mention, we will take a break. Normally it's around 2:30. So if you see that I'm going over and forgetting about the break, you are totally allowed to let me know that I forgot about the break. But I'll try to keep an eye on time so we can go and break at some point. I will not keep you all 3 hours long in front of the computer. So we will have a break in the middle of everything. For the system administrator, so that's SA, system administrator. During the install of SQL, you have created a password. So I don't know which one you use. So that's where we have to enter it. For LogIO, it's you're creating a new actually LogIO. If you already have one, you need to know the password. But if it's a new one, it's your first install on this SQL server. You can just type in the same as DSA. It's easier to remember, and it will not conflict. So it's just that this will allow us to create a database and create LogIO. But when LBUS is running, it's using the LogIO user, not DSA. And for database name, it's an open field. So on my side, I'll call it training to make just so I can remember which database it is, and press create. If I enter all the correct information, I will get database created successfully.
Yeah, I'm still getting the same error.
And if you look on your C drive, program files, LogIVision, LBUS, do you have anything there?
Let me see. Yeah, there is a LogIVision folder, but it was created today.
Okay, and if you open it, do you have an LBUS there?
Yes, I do.
And if you try to let's say you close everything you have open for LBUS right now and you launch the LBUS.exe from that folder, what are you seeing?
Let me try. Says you'll be prompted for administrator rights to complete this installation, and then now it's restarting the installation process. And it still gives me the same error. It says you must set the server name before proceeding.
You must set the server name before proceeding. Wow.
Sounds like he needs to name his computer.
Well, it's named.
Like you don't have any.
It's named after OS 1.
No, that should be all right. What does the error say? I'm sorry.
Well, so after I hit next, it says you must set the server name before proceeding, and then right after I okay that, it says an error occurred in the application. And then it gives me the option to mail it, print it, show bug, or continue application. And when I show it, it doesn't specify. It says cannot focus a disabled invisible window.
Are you on the POS or you're on the LBUS? You're in the LBUS, yeah.
Okay. I'm in the LBUS, yeah.
Well, what we can do, follow with me for now, and at the break, I can always connect to your machine and take a look with you. I think it will be easier for me to see it. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that works for me.
Perfect. Just keep an eye here. So database. Yes.
What's the database name again? Sorry.
On my side, I call it DB training, but you can put the name you want actually.
Okay.
It's normally what we use for our customer. The most common one is LogDB, but I'm pretty sure if I use that one on my computer right now on the virtual machine I'll already have one like that. So I'm using DB training, but 99% of the time our customers are using LogDB. Hold on, Mario. I'm reading your question. Well, you mean, okay, well, for the licensing, let's say if you have your LBus 901 in your license, you will need one LBus. If you want to install another one, let's say the workstation, so a 902, you will need it to be set as, you will need two LBus in your license. Do I have one here? Yeah, I do. So here, I'm allowed to have the server. Since I have 10 LBus, I'm allowed to have the server, and I can have 9 workstation of that server. I will show you the Logi license very shortly after that. Just answering the question quickly, but we will go to Logi license in the next step when we're done installing the LBus. So here we're at the moment. Oops, sorry. Of the where the store number is important. So if you're multiple employee in the same office, make sure that you look with your colleagues and don't use the same one. So here on the right you have the store number. So on my side I will set 689. So I'm not conflicting with anyone in my own office. But if you have multiple employee, just talk to each other, set different store number. Most 99% of the time when you're installing LBus, you will be using store number 001 for let's say one store. If you have a head office configuration multi-store, we will use store 1, 2, 3, etc. And the head office will be 999. But if you're like for today, on my side, I'm using 689, and you can use any number between between 1 and 999. For the system date, we have the option to either change it manually or change it at midnight. I'm sorry, just hold on. I have a question from Brad. If you have one server and one back office, exactly. So when you buy, if you have a server and a workstation, you will need 2 LBus in your license, and you can get to the you can access both at the same time. Yes. So you can have if a customer is using workstation and it calls us for help, we can get directly on the server to look at. Yes, correct. You're quite right. So in a store you can have a cashier or the manager working on the workstation to do receiving, and on the server you can have the owner doing something else, configuring item, changing price. Yeah, you need 2 LBus in your license. So if you open the LBus and the workstation at the same time, you will get an error. So the 901 will close, the server will close. So it will not be usable to have only one LBus in your key and use a 901 and a 902. If I'm making sense. The way it works, it will be all on the same license. So here on one license, so that's my serial number, 673129. I'm allowed to have 10 LBus running, but the 10 LBus are all for the same store. They cannot be for a different store. So there is one license per LBus 901, the server. And on this 901, you can connect any number of workstation you want. Am I making sense, or am I making it worse to understand? Oh. I think maybe I'm not clear enough, or I'm mixing two things. You have one license per store, and in the license you can tell it how many LBus you're going to have. So the license that I'm using right now on this virtual machine, that's my one license, and this license only work for one store. So it's either work for one store, one regional, or one central. It cannot supplied the module and information to two different locations. So here we're talking really about one store. So there's one Logi license per location. And in that license, I can tell it how many LBUS we are allowed to okay, so we are having a lot of. So I was just finishing on the license here. So we have one number of. So at my store here 689, I'm allowed to have one server and 9 workstation. So I'm allowed to have 901, 902, 903, 904, 905, 906, 907, 908, 909, and 9010. But all those workstations are all talking to the 901, which is the server. And Mike, you're getting an. So you're. What do you mean by keep taking me back to the installation? Is it showing like that, or is it something else?
Well, whenever I double click on the LBOS icon that got installed on the desktop, comes up and it says, oh, let's see, it says you will be prompted for administrator rights to complete the installation. But now it's giving me an LBOS window, but it keeps taking me to welcome to LBOS, begin installation now, next. I've already done all that.
So that's what you're, so here, like that.
Yes.
You do next. You did your store number, your database, and you did again next, and it's still doing that?
Next. Well, see, now all this stuff is cleared. It's like a brand new install, which I've already done.
Is it possible? Is it possible that you're running a standard user for your Windows account on this machine, and that you're not administrator?
Yeah, I didn't set this machine up. That could be. So if I run it as administrator,
because with Windows, since Windows 7.
Yeah, even trying to run it as an administrator, it still comes up to the begin installation now.
Well, do you mind following on my screen? And at the break, I can.
Yep.
Thank you. So when we'll be at the break, just guys, write me your phone numbers, or you can always email them to me if you don't want to put them in the chat, and I will give you a call so we can look at it directly. So I'll just finish my LBOS installation. Since so here we have the system date. So it's either the date change manually. So if you have a store that doesn't close at let's say that is open overnight, gas station, okay, hold on. I'm not right there. I'm not quite there yet. You're in front of me right now. No problem. Don't worry. So here the change manually and change at midnight. So change manually, we usually use it when the store doesn't close or close after midnight. So if you have a convenience store, a gas station, a bar, even though they are pretty rare right now with the pandemic, change at midnight. So that's when the store closed before midnight and is not open 24 hours. We can hear force date change. So even if you don't do any action on the system at midnight, the system will force to go the next day. So you don't have to worry about ending the day on the point of sale. So here it's really about the point of sale that we're talking. So this is to tell the POS when to close the day and when to switch to the next one. Last day of the week, it depends on every store. In this training, I will select Sunday. You're the leading zeros. So that's the number of digit that we usually have for PLUs. Normally, a UPCA is 12 digit if you include the check digit in the barcodes. The EAN 13 is 13 digits, so 14 is a good number. But if you need to go to 20 or anything higher, you can always change it to something else that fit your need. But by default, 14 is a very good numbers to go with. we'll do next. And here for the screen layout. On my side, I think that today we'll go with the first one. So pure original layout, 1024 by 768. That will be the best thing. We will make sure to check the load sample grocery data so we all have the same items to work with. When you will be installing a customer, of course, the load sample grocery data must not be checked. It's not really, you don't want our default item, I'm pretty sure. They will have their own database. And here we can do next. Everything just to verify all the information. We're all good to go, finish. So it will do the installation. For those of you who don't have Logi license installed on the machine, you will be prompted to install Logi license. You can always go forward and say yes. Oh, well, I'm having a share name problem right now. If you don't have a license, yes, Nancy, you can say no. Okay. So you just close the license. On my side too, I'm getting errors today. So everything is set properly. Why can't I have access? Well, I think I'll be forced to reinstall it too on my side. I'm having the same problem that you guys seems to have. Yeah. Doesn't look very good when during the training. The installation doesn't work for the trainer. I'm sorry for that. That's something I'm used to. Just use a different star number. X finish. Oh, now I got the right prompt. I think it will work. So here we have again some policy that we can read if we need to. I agree. So now the Airbus is doing is initial load. So it's loading the basic security, the basic items that we will be using for the training this week. So it's just preparing the Airbus for basic usage. So it's all set everything to default. There is many options that can be customized. So here here it's our administrator prompt. So we will create our programmer access. So that will allow us to access the LBOSS, the point of sales, the setup, if we want to do any customization or configuration. So it's really important that we remember this information. So the first field is our operator number. So the number that we will use to log in. Normally we use 7 because the programmer level is set, is the security level is 7. So 747. For the email address, you will enter your email address, legivision.com, and here we'll email the temporary password. So if you don't have a license, you will get the following prompt. So unregistered software, this is an unregistered copy of the program, blah, blah, blah. Here we did not receive any information from LegiLicense. We will press OK. We will do it one more time. And here it will ask us, LegiLicense is still not responding. Do you want to try again? We will say no. If you don't have a license, you say no. If you have a license, all done. So if you don't have a license, you say no. And after that, it will ask you if you want to activate demo mode. You will say yes. And the demo mode will be activated. So it will send the email with the password. For the one that are using LegiLicense and your license is configured, if it's not configured, you will be prompted to browse for the license file. You can browse through it. If it's already set and looking like mine, you can go to Operation, change store number, and enter your store number. So here the field store number, instead of being 001, it will become 688 after a few seconds. And you can try again to email a temporary password. Oops. Sorry. So in the email, you can get your temporary password. So here the email looked like that. So on my side, that's my temporary password if you want to hack my LBOSS. I will not use it for real business, so it's okay. I will paste it here, change password now. So now you are prompted to enter a new password and re-enter it. I invite you to enter something that we will remember since we will need it for the complete week. So I changed my password, it worked. Is everyone at the same step? Of course, I know that some of you haven't been able to install LBOSS yet, but for the rest of the group, is that clear? Do you want any extra information on the following step? Almost perfect, Crystal. No worries. It might go to your spam folder for the email. I've seen that happen sometimes, so keep an eye on the spam folder. Good. So I see that everyone is getting to the same step. We'll continue. Just making sure I've shown you everything from my list that I have here. Just okay. With LBOSS, so that's our main LBOSS window. Before we go to all the menus and everything, I just want to show you something on the help menu. So on the help, you have the option for content. Okay. This message that we just saw that I clear very quickly because I'm used to clear it and haven't taken the time to show you. This message will show every 10 minutes when you're logged in with your level 7 account, so your programmer account. This message is just to inform you that you're logged in with a very high level operator, so it can be dangerous because you have access to the database, you can alter information in the system. So it's just to warn you that you're logged in with this account. And if you don't answer the prompt that I clear very quickly again. After 10 minutes, it will log you out automatically. But to go back to the help menu, we have here contents. Contents is the LBOSS help file. So when you open that, you have access to the LBOSS help file. You have a tab for search. If you're looking on how to do an electronic coupon, we call it ECL. You can search for ECL, and you will see information about ECL and how to do it and the different options that are available. Just to show you that you have the help file available. It's very useful if you don't have access to our team or support department right away. So help content like that, and you can search for whatever you need. Oh, also, when you click on help, you can press Control on your keyboard, just press it once and release it, and you can access to here some folders. So you have the log folder, the office folder. So when you click on them, it will bring you directly to the log folder of LBOSS or the office folder. So you can see here, after a while it goes away, but when you press Control, so that's the default menu. But when you will press Control, you will have the extra option, the office folder and the log folder. So that's important sometimes when we want to access some files. So you have a shortcut under the help. By default, it's hidden for your customer. But if you want to bring it on, you just press Control, click on it, and you will see the extra information. So now we will go to maintenance. Maintenance is the program that we use to configure nearly everything that will be used at the point of sales. So it's items, customer account, terminals, operator, so cashier number. So we will launch maintenance. We will be focusing right now mostly on the terminal part. So this is in maintenance, so that's how it looks. To go to the terminal, we will have to select register from the top here and go to terminals. So that's maintenance. I'll just make it a little bit smaller. So by default, when you install the point of sale, sorry, not the point of sale, the back office, it create a lane 1. So it take for granted that we will be creating a lane 1. So we have two sides. Here we have terminal on the right and target on the left. Terminal is all your terminals. So we have 901, which is our server. And we have the lane 1, which is our point of sale 1. The target, the way they work here on the left, store exchange. So that's where you want to send changes and information. So we put the lane. RAL is the report group. So you want to do report based on lane 1 and your 901 if you're doing any inventory. So they are still considered transaction and will be registered in the tables, and you will be able to see them in some report. PAL for program all lane. So exchange all lane, report all lane, and program all lane. This is to define the default configuration. So we will tell that all the lanes are the same when we're using PAL, because we have a way of telling the system that we can use different screen configuration. So lane 1 and lane 2 can be different from one another. They are not mandatory to be the same. You can also have different peripherals if it's happened. So that, but for this training, we'll have the lanes looking the same. So program all lanes. To add a terminal, let's say we want to do a lane 2 in the system, we have to, as you can see, when I go from right to left to target to terminal, the title get in blue. So if you want to add something from one side to another, you need to make sure that it is being highlighted, because if I do the plus right now, the red plus to add, that's common to everything. The scissors will be to remove. Here I have the prompt to add a group. But if I highlight terminal, I have the prompt to add a new terminal. So depending the selection you will do in that window, it will ask you to do a different reaction. And here on the terminal type for the lane, it will always be a POS, LPOS for a lane. The E1595, it's older electronic cash register. We are not compatible with them anymore. They are not making them anymore, so that's not something you will be installing. So the the type that are interesting here is the NUN, LBUS, and LPOS. The NUN is very, very rarely used. So let's be honest, mostly you'll be using LBUS and LPOS. When you install a POS, you have to define the terminal PC name. So here, for this training, it will be on the same machine. But if your point of sale was to be on a different computer, you can double click in this field, and you will see all the computers on your network that are available that are visible on the network. So right now, as you can see, there's not a lot on the office, but you just set which computer name will be installing the point of sale. Do you have any question? Okay. So for those of you who are using, well, it asked me if I want to save. I haven't changed anything, but yes, I may change. I may save. So here again, the prompt that I cleared very quickly earlier. So processing data has stopped because the current operator is using programmer security level. Press OK to restart processing. So of course, when the timer here on the left goes to 0, you will be logged out. Let me see the question from Nancy. Did you set your terminal type to LPOS or LPO or LBUS? So for my point of sale, I haven't touched anything. I left it like that by default. So my point of sale, my 001 is LPOS, and my LBUS is LBUS. So my 901 actually, my server is LBUS. What we'll be looking, are you getting any error, Brad, with your license? Because we're going to be talking about license right now. Yes, it is expired. Will you have the license number, please? Yes, the serial number, correct.
Where do we find the serial number again?
Here on my license, I have it at the top under the general section.
That's 603322.
I see it is okay up to December 2022, Brad, so it should not be expired. Have you tried to do the update license from OS at the bottom left? Well, since we're talking about the license, we'll go into the license. Now I'm showing you mine, the one on my real computer, and not the one on the virtual machine. So it is a little bit more complete. When you have a new license file, you have a prompt to browse, or you can go to Operation and browse license folder. Yeah, browse license folder. Sorry, browse for a license file. I'm so sorry. At the bottom here. Again, here the store number is very important, so it need to match the one you have in LBUS. So let's say on my computer here, store number 687 is in the field there, and at the top you can see 687-901. So the first 3 digit is my store number, and after that you have my terminal number, which is my server. We have all the options. So we already set a number of point of sale, the number of LBUS. So if you have 10 for the number of point of sale, you can have 10 POS. If you have 10 for the number of LBUS, you can have 10 LBUS. On my side, my licenses are regional since I'm using it's a test license, so I can use any type of LBUS. It can either be central, regional, or store. But if you only have a store or a central, it will say store or central. The email per month field is not being used anymore. So it still show 50, but it's being ignored by LBus. Number of L register, that's again the electronic cash register. We're not using that anymore, so you can ignore it. We do offer a gas pump. Currently, my license does not offer any gas pump, but you can install a gas pump system. So my number of pumps is set to 0, but depending the licensing, we can have a gas pump. Sorry, I'm not licensed for the. Okay, hold on, Brad. I will just reset your license. Because the dealer license, also one important thing, you cannot have it, you cannot move it from one computer to another. So it needs to always be on the same machine. The only way to move it is to tell us, and we can reset it to allow you to move it to a different computer. So just because we'll just reset the license. So if you try it again now, Brad, it should be okay. Oh, that's the LBus. I'm sorry. I think my other LBus, the one on the virtual machine, is exactly showing the same thing. So yeah, one register offline. So I'm sorry, I was on my computer to show you all the option. And not on my virtual machine. So let me just close that up to not create any confusion. So if I go back to the license, so we have the status here. The one important field is the update until. This tells you which version you can install or not. So the update until allow you to install all the version that were released before the date you have there. So on my side, I can install all the version that were released before July 14, 2021. So in each version of LBus, when we release them, if I go back to the LBus I have here, I'll clear that up. File configuration. We have the compile date. So that's the release date for the LBus. So this version was released back to September 8, 2020. And well, that's not the same update until, but so I can use this version since the date for my update until is later than the compile date. So for the option 1, we have some option. I will not go through all of them because we will still be there next month. But the basic one is account receivable, debit credit to use PinPad. LTracker is an advanced journal to show the detail of the receipt. Later this week, I will show you how both work and show you the difference. Pay at pump if you're using gas pump system. Air miles for our Canadian dealer that are part of the training this week. Batch, this will allow us to do lot pricing, price change, promotion that are scheduled in advance for a bunch of items. Head office communication, if you have a multi-store. LHTML, this is being used when you have an handheld device. Inventory, label printing. I will not go everything. The bank option. So we have different bank option. For the US, we mostly use NCR connected payment and data cap. We are working on a new solution called Payment Tree that will be released in the next few months. That will give more option for the US market. In Canada, we're mostly using semi-integrated. So Moneris Global, Chase, First Data, 11. From out of my mind, so we're connecting directly to the bank. They are supplying the PinPad in the device. We don't go through a middleware like in the United States. So that resume all the option. License history is resolved for the moment. Thank you. Might be curious to know why I had moved to another computer. Well, sometime if you do a Windows update that changed the Windows version, it will also see it as a move. So if, let me show you quickly. It happens sometime. They don't do that very often on the Microsoft side. So here we have the version. So if your version number, let's say here it's 1909, but it changed to 2004, it will trigger also an hardware change, and it think that you're moving the license to a different computer. So it will generate that kind of error. But for the store license, you can move them to the computer you want. we will get a warning after 5. If it's over 5, we might block something. But if you move, let's say, the license 5 times in 2 days, it will be suspicious for us. We will look into it. But if you move it 5 times in a year, we will not ask any question. Okay. So now we are at the step of installing our point of sale, so we can get rid of the one register offline error. So to do so, the first thing to do in our LBOSS, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if there's anyone on not on mute. We're hearing some noise. Thank you. So just to so for the LBOSS installation, when we finished the installation of LBOSS, there was a flag that I mentioned to you, allow creating new station. If you want to retrieve that flag, you can go to File, Configuration, and here we have allow creating new station. So we need to check it up. It will be valid for 4 hours. If you close your LBOSS, it will get unchecked, and you have to come back and check the flag again. Sorry. So here it is active for me. So now we're going to do the POS installation. So like LBOSS, we have to launch the lpos install.exe. It's doing our L solution restore for the backup software. We'll go with English, new install. Buzzwin, oops, training. I forgot the S. Training. Oh, to check mark the allow creating new station, you go to your main LBOSS window, File, Configuration, and at the bottom you have allow creating new station. If you are prompted to log in, it's asking you the operator we created earlier. So when you got the email with the temporary password, so you enter your operator number and the password you configure, and you will be okay. Great. So we install our POS. Again, we have a few next. When we install the POS, we'll be broadcasting a UDP query to ask LBOSS the information we need. So sometimes we do have some problem with firewalls or antivirus. We'll see if anyone have an issue. One thing that is common when if you go at the bottom right here on your network connection, right click and do open network and internet settings. Make sure that under Ethernet it show private network. If it show public network, you can change the connection properties right underneath in blue. Change connection properties and check the private instead of public. Otherwise, the UDP will not go through, and we will not be able to do the installation. So I'll go back to my point of sale. Here it is, finish. So I'll click finish. It will start the point of sale to do the initial installation. Receive the initial files from the LBOSS. So now it's doing initializing. Please wait. So it's the LBOSS is ready. We'll install store number 688 terminal 1. So my store is 688 when I look at my LBOSS, and that's indeed my lane 1. Okay. Actually, look, it will apply to Wi-Fi too. Even if it doesn't matter what type of connection you're using. So if you're on Wi-Fi or Ethernet, you also have the option to go to private. If you're on public, it will not work. So now the LBus is sending all the files to the point of sales. So in that window, all the uppercase are the tables that are mandatory for the POS to run. So you can see button, FCT, FCZ, form name, form and function, OBG, POS, price act, SDP, SDPO, zone. Well, EWAKE is mandatory. That's weird. PRW and INV. So if you don't have the one in uppercase checked, the POS will not be able to start. Since we're doing quite a basic installation, I'm pretty sure everyone will have the tables checked and the POS will be able to start. But that's something if you call us, let's say, and you're having a hard time to install your first point of sale, we might ask you which tables in uppercase are not checked, and that's how we can find out where the problem is coming from. But on a default basic system like that, everything should be checked. So the POS is starting. So as you can see, it's in full screen. I don't know if everyone have their POS running. So I guess you all want to remove the full screen. Unable to create so yes, Daniel, you need to go to LBus file, file configuration, and allow creating new station. Is that already checked on your system? Okay, just give it a try and see if it worked this time. Good. So you might want to listen carefully here. Yeah, I'll show you. Sorry, how to remove the POS from full screen because it will be taking all the window. So to log into the point of sales, you will use the operator we created in LBus earlier. So for me, it was 7, and I will do cashier ID. So 7, the number, and cashier ID, the gray button beside quantity and between actually quantity and all in recall. So as you can see at the top now, I'm logged in. So it's a cashier admin. To go to the POS setup, we will go on LPOS where you have your license file. So in my case, it's LPOS 673129 system. Some of you might have a prompt to log in. So if you have a prompt to log in, enter your operator and the password that you created in LBus. We will go to AD, Advanced Programming. So it's just on the right of CID limits. It will bring up the following menu. In the advanced, you can do Control F to search. And here I will be looking for full screen. So main monitor full screen, I'll change it to false. Customer monitor in full screen, I'll change it to false. So they are one after the other. So the first one is main monitor, and after that you have customer monitor. And you can press, and to change the field, you just double click in it. So it will move from true to false. We can just double click in it. What we want is false, so we can see something. So now it's making more sense because in full screen it's hiding everything. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll start over. So we log into the point of sale. So I use my operator 7 cashier ID. We go to POS setup at the top left corner, system. When we're there, we go to we stay on the general tab, which is the default one when it opened, and we go to AD under lane number and on the right of CID limit. So AD, the AD button. And here we can do Control F full screen. Let me just, I don't know if I can. Yes, it is on a POS, Melissa. So here we have our two lot division software, the POS and the back office install that we can use. Right now we have the customer monitor. We will leave it there for the moment. We'll keep working with it. But that will be at some point we will remove it. So what I believe we can do right now, I think we can go on a break up to. Yes, we can adjust the side of the screens. We'll be working on that on tomorrow or Thursday, if I remember properly. So I can show you in depth on tomorrow on Thursday on how to adjust the screen. But for now, I think we will go in break. How about we come back at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So right now it's 2:26. In the meantime, I will help. I think it was Mike that was having a hard time with the LBOSS installation, and I will look into that. So we can see each other back at 3 p.m. Today. Is that all right with everyone?
That's fine with me.
Yep.
Okay, so for all your error that you have, guys, we will look. I'll look right after, but I'll just look with Mike for the LBOSS, and so half an hour, I think it's enough, so he can also have a break on his side after we manage to make it work. Okay. So Mike, do you want me to give you a call, or do you want to do it through Teams right now?
Oh, we can do it through Teams. I've got Show My PC up.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. If you have the code, just trying to find my mouse. All
right, 8936.
Just trying to get my desktop. Okay.
Now, I'm sure I missed a step somewhere.
8936. No, the code is not working. Are you able to close the program and reopen it, Mike, please?
Yeah, I can do it. Okay, Show My PC, run. Yes. And start a meeting, right?
Correct, yes.
$32.59.
Thank you. Okay, I'm there.
All right. So I'll let you drive.
You want to show me? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's.
Let me close this. All right. So this is what I'm getting. I'm going to minimize that.
I think you have to get rid of the other error first. The one here. Okay, so we'll go in demo mode. We'll see that one is the no. Did you install the LBus a few days ago?
No, I did it today.
Okay. Okay. So you let me know if you get the email.
Well, I've been trying to get the email. Man, I can't tell you how many times I clicked on that. Well, shit.
If you don't.
Yeah, there it is. I don't know what the hell I did wrong. All right. So now I enter the temporary there.
Correct.
Proceed.
You can do change. Yeah, well, then you will have to enter again. Just go under option before at the right. And check change password. So re-enter the number. I think it was 4 times number 1. Yeah, and put the temporary password, and you will be prompted to change your password to something that make more sense. You need to enter the temporary one, the one you got in the email.
Okay. The one I got in the email. Is that what you? Oh.
Yeah.
V7.
And now you can enter the new one you want. Yeah, it will be too short.
All right.
You need 1 uppercase, 8 character longs, and I think that's it. Numbers too, sorry. Enter your login.
Over here?
Well, you're already logged in.
Yeah.
When you look, if you look at LBus, here admin, so we're logged in. Do you want to install the POS right now?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do next.
So file configuration.
And then allow create new station.
Yeah.
And okay. And then
You think you're good from there, Mike?
I think so. Yeah. Now.
Yeah. Okay. I will go. Yes.
Am I okay to set up a terminal number 2 as well, just out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
If you want on a different computer, you can for sure. If you want to do it on this one, we can always do it. You can always do it on this one, but you can't have 2 terminals for the same store on the same machine.
Sure. I just want to make sure that I was okay to do that in demo mode.
Okay.
Let's see, choose.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was my mouse.
That's all right.
Just minimize your window to avoid the. I'm seeing a few questions here. Okay, Mike, I will go and help Rami and Daniel to see if they can help. I'll just share my screen again. You're welcome, no problem.
All right, I'll
just disconnect from your computer. Okay, let me share my screen again. Let me know, Rami and Daniel, when you're able to see it.
Okay, I'll let you know. Okay, I see it.
Okay, I see it.
Okay. Okay, so you're in front of the POS like well, it's full screen and not like mine, right?
Correct.
I guess. So are you logged in? Do you see cashier admin? So you're logged in right now.
Yeah,
you went to the license. You click on the license number and go to system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And under the general tab, here let me try to see if I can highlight it using the screen capture tool. Do you see here the AD button?
Yep, I see it there. Got it. Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, sorry. Since you're not able to see my mouse, it makes it difficult. Try to fix that for tomorrow. And full screen.
Oh,
Now
you
you can
type in,
change it to
you
false.
type in full screen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
You
didn't
go
do
to
that.
what-
I'm sorry.
You can do Control F to search and full screen, and it will bring you to the file, the flag that you're looking for.
System.
I get it. And then you just double click to make them false.
Correct.
Okay.
You do the same thing for the customer monitor, the flag right underneath, to also set it to false.
So Control F and
Yeah,
full screen.
Control F to
Okay.
search. And you have two flags, so main monitor and customer monitor. So you need to do both to false. Of course, that might not be important for you, but if let's say if the system was in Spanish or French, you can also use the English name to search in the advanced flag. So it's searching in all languages at the same time. So if you're looking for a flag and you know.
Sorry, you changed the.
Sorry.
You changed the main monitor and full screen to false?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You double click in the field. So where you have current value, you can double click and it will change from true to false.
For both of them, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. I'll be back at 3 o'clock. Thank you, Dominic.
You're welcome. No problem. Are you okay, Remy?
Yeah, looks like I got it.
Okay. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yeah, Remy.
I just want to make sure.
No, that's good.
Sorry.
Okay. So to get to that option, what did you hit?
Oh, of course. Let's do it again. I don't mind. Let's go to. Are you logged in, Mike, to the
Yep.
POS?
Yes, sir.
So you see here. Okay. So you go to the license on the top left, or for you it will be LPOS demo. Not you won't have any license. You go to system.
Oh, there we go. All right. I think I got it from there. And add, and then Control F, and
Full screen, and you have two flags to change to false. Are you all right, Mike? Oh, I'm seeing another question.
no, I'm good. I think I got it. I appreciate it.
Okay, Zoran, if you want from the LBOS, maybe sometime it happens once in a while. You can go to task on the LBOS, log in if you're logged out, and you can do the first one, deploy all change. You can either double click on it or do the execute at the bottom, and that should fix it for the full screen.
Oh, okay.
And now I will also go on my side on break. I'll keep the chat open. If you have any question, you can always write them there, write them down. But I might be back at 3.
Sounds good, man. Thanks.
You're welcome. No problem. So we're going to continue. I just want to see the question from Tom. Yeah, Tom. So if you go with 2014, the SQL installation, it should be exactly the same if I remember properly. Maybe very small difference, but you can follow the one from 2014 and be able to install. Sorry, from 2017 and be able to install 2014 easily. And Brad, the error is coming from I see that there's two Brads. So Brad Graham, I'm sorry. I see that the error is coming from well, we see that we find out that this is happening when you don't have any sales in your system, and if you're using a backup from a different customer, so there's different scenario where it's being caused. This tracking customer is a log that we use for our customer. It's not mandatory. It's only if you have a problem. So it's an extra log that normally based in the basic installation should not be there. So at some point it will be removed and it will stop doing that error. But it happened once in a while that it get triggered and generate the error. So we're good to continue. So sorry, Brad. So will we expect to see that message anytime we set up a new system before we? It can happen, yes. To see that error, not in all the case. It's very specific to certain situation. So we do have under our knowledge base. So if you look for tracking customer, we have an article explaining step by step what I just sent you on how to turn it off. But yeah, it can happen from time to time that you will get this message on your system about the tracking customer. It is not preventing from registering transaction or anything. It's it looks scary, but it won't prevent any sales from being registered in your system. Yes, if you use a backup from a different customer, it can be the reason why. Yes, it's happening. It's one of the cause that we find out that when you're grabbing a backup from a different customer. You don't need to turn it back on. You can leave it off. It's not something that is required but for the system to work. If there is a problem, it's an extra log that we will use, but we don't use it anymore. It's from a few years ago, and it's still there. But if let's say there was a problem with customer account and something is not registered properly in the system, we will turn it on to track everything. Yeah, it's just a log, so it's not you won't lose any customer information or balance or charge or anything like that. Everything will be registered. It's just that we have this in case that we need it to track why something doesn't work properly. So. No. I'm sorry, I'll just answer one email from one of the attendant. Oh. So we will continue. So we have our POS. Just wondering if did I miss anyone else's message? Just want to make sure I haven't forgot anyone. Oh, are you okay, Zoran, with your screen? I'm sorry. Is it working properly now? Okay, perfect. Jimmy, actually, the temp license, it will be the sales that will give you the license. There is one per office that is given by default. I don't know what's the. I'll be honest here. I'm not sure of the agreement that you have with the sales team for the license. Not each technician will get one, so the first one is free. If you need extra license, there is a fee, but normally there is one license per office, since you can share the same license and use it over the network. So the way it works with the Logi license is that you can read the license from any computer that is on the same network, so it doesn't need to be on your machine to work with LBUS and LPOS. I don't know. Jimmy, let me just verify which office you're working with. Yeah, there should be one license for everyone. Well, one license for your office. I believe the sales did send it. Oh, okay, yeah. So yes, if Crystal have the license on her machine, you can share the same license. The only thing that you need to do is to set up the store number matching the one from Jimmy, and he will be able to read the license. Of course, if you're on the same network, if you're working from home, it might be a little bit difficult. But if you're in the same office and on the same network, right now, the other machine should be able to read the license. And when you read the license, you have 14 days before your LBUS stop working. So the LBUS will tell you that you haven't read the license since X numbers of days, but no feature will be blocked until you reach 14 days. So you just have to read the license at least once every 2 weeks, and you will be okay to use the LBUS normally. So we do have our POS. One thing I would like to show you on the POS. No, it doesn't matter if it's a VAR. It's because it's a valued associated retailers license. That's normal, actually. That you have even on the LBUS. I think on the bottom left corner you will see license VAR. So that's normal. If you want to get rid, Rami, of the keyboard timeout. But well, just before I show you that, I will just finish what we have to do for the POS. One thing that I found very important when if you remember, I showed you on the LBUS that if you go under help and content, you have the help file. On the POS, we also have an help file, but you need to browse to access it. So on the shortcut of the LPOS, you can right click, open file location, and right under the POS.exe, you have the POS HLP.chm. So that's the POS help file. You can open it, and like the LBUS help file, you can do a search to find out something about the POS. So here I'll do restrictors, and we have the help file, and it's explained how the restrictor work on the POS. That's just an example for sure. We'll go through all the options of the POS later this week in that and showing what is possible to do with the software. If you're getting a keyboard timeout error on the POS, if you remember properly, so make sure that you're logged into the point of sale. We'll go to POS setup again here. So when we click on LPOS and license or demo, we call that POS setup. So we go to POS setup system. Oh, I'll have to log in. And under the events tab, here we have the maximum key delay timeout. So you can change it to, I don't know if 0 will be okay to have it to unlimited. If I go there. Yeah, so if you change it to 0, you will not be getting the keyboard timeout error anymore. Maybe I was too quick. So POS setup, system, login, event, and maximum key delay timeout in milliseconds. I changed it to 0. also from LBus to prevent from being logged out. When you're in POS setup, you don't see it. System, Remy. If I do it once more, so I go to, oh, where's my mouse? POS setup, system, login, events tab. So it's between miscellaneous and language. And there's a field called maximum key delay, timeout in milliseconds. Were you able to find it? Good. And also for LBus, under File, Configuration, if 7, under the Security tab, so the last one on the right, you can set up the time of inactivity before auto log off. This will not apply to your programmer access. It will only apply to regular user, but it will, if you change it to 0, it will prevent from being logged out after every 12 minutes. So that's why when I came back, sorry, from the break, my my LBus was logged out. If you change it to 0, it will not log you out every time after a while. You will still get the prompt for the programmer. That will not change because the operator is still considered dangerous. So if you leave it connected to the site, it might cause data loss or something like that. So that will still be there. But if you're any other level that is not level 7, you will be okay. But we will go in depth on the operator levels and everything. I will just continue on the back office and front end, the way they communicate with each other. Yeah, no, Luca, we can't. The setup is only full screen. We can't have it Windows as well. Well, there is a way. I'm sorry, you can access also the POS setup from the back office. The only difference from LBus, I mean, so the only difference is that you don't have access to the peripherals. But if you go to LBus module, you go to POS setup. Will it be full screen or not? I don't remember. We'll see. And I go to system and I select my lane. So here it will be a window and not full screen. But that's from the back office. So when you do when you do the change in the POS setup on the lane, it will apply right away. So you don't have to send the modification you made to the point of sale. So when you do it on the POS, it's right now. If you do it from the back office, you must do a task, deploy all change to send your modification. It will not update the lane immediately. It's not live, actually. And from the back office, we don't have access to the peripherals since we can't access the port that are local to each lanes. But yeah, if you want to do it from the back office, it's possible also, and it will not be full screen. So the way LBus and LBus work, LBus have its own SQL database that you have access to, but the POS also have its own database. So let's say if your back office crash, but you still have your lanes, the lanes can still work without the back office. They don't need the LBus to be able to scan items, to call customer account, etc. They have their own database save on their machine. So if a crash happen or power failure, the back office gets stolen, the POS can still run on their own for a while. Of course, when the back office is not available, you don't have the customer balance information or points if you're using point system. So that's the only limitation that will not work when the back office is missing or powered off, is that the POS can't get the current account balance or point balance. if your back office crash and you lose all the information, it is possible to rebuild the LBUS machine using the database from the point of sales. We can only retrieve 60 days of sales, but if you're, let's say, if you want to recreate all the items, I'll have all the description back, the customer account. It can be done using the database that is saved on the point of sale. Of course, in this current situation, we have both on the same machine. But if in a situation where you have your back office on a separate machine and your LPOS on at the front of the store, if your server crash, we can always rebuild the whole system using the point of sale. Sorry about that. Okay. The way the LBUS and the POS communicate with each other, for information that we need right away, we're using UDP communication. So if we want a gift card balance, we want a customer balance, point balance, we will the POS will send a UDP communication to the back office, and the back office will answer also with UDP. But when we're sending sales to the back office, we have a little program here, the yellow man with the chair and a vacuum or a whip. I'm not quite sure why they use that icon. This is called polling. And this program grab the files from the lanes and bring them to the back office, and grab the files from the back office and send them to the lanes. So that's allowed to exchange information with the POS and the LBUS. The program is running on the back office machine. So if you have your back office on a separate machine, this will be running on the back office. So that's the way it works. And we have folders that we use that are under the office folder. Again, when I go to help and I press control before clicking help, I have access to the office folder. So the folder are named based on the terminal number. So here we have, we have the olds for the transaction on old. We have the inbox. So inbox is when we send a file in. So inbox 001 is for lane 1. Inbox 901 is for the server 901. So matching the number at the top, 901, 001. If we have an inbox, we have an outbox. So outbox 001 and outbox 901. So that's when we send a file. We put a file in the outbox 001 when we want to send it to the 901. And when we want to send a file to the lanes, we put it in the outbox 901. If I know the logic might be hard to follow, but that's the way it works. And at the POS, we also have a little software that will process the information that gets sent to him into the inbox 001. The program is called Communic. So here it's the I think it's a folder with the server computer icon blue. So this file, this program actually will register all the files that are being sent to the POS. And he will add them to the database that is being used by the POS. We don't need to install the database on the POS. It's done all during the installation, so there's no intervention from us on that side. You have any question? Is that clear? Yeah, sure, Brad. If you go to LBUS to get to the office folder, you're on the main LBUS window. You press Control on your keyboard. You release it just one time. You go to Help and you select Office. And I'm using the left control on the keyboard. The communicator is in the system tray. So like polling, on the bottom right, if you see communicator is in the system tray. So that's the blue computer with the white folder. And if you press X, it will close it. So make sure to always click on hide when you're exiting from it. Otherwise, it will turn off and it will only be start if you restart your point of sale. Do you have any other question? Am I answering the question properly? Do we need any more precision from my side? That Rami will be seeing that a few days. But if we have time by the end, I will show you how to make your POS screen smaller. I'm not sure sorry, Daniel, to understand what you mean that you don't have any programs within your folder. Though there's no program in there's I believe let's just see. I think in Inbox 01, yeah, I have a programs on my side, but that's only when you you do your first deploy all change. That will be the next step of this of today, but this folder is when we do the auto update, and it's not. It will only be used when we'll be updating the systems. For now, we're not doing any update. I'll show you more on Friday on how to do the auto update. But as we speak, that's not. If you see that you have an extra subfolder that I have actually an extra subfolder that you don't have, it's just because I did maybe an extra step or during the break I show someone something. But you're not missing anything, and the software will create its own folder. So you don't have to worry about it. Well, now we'll go to the LBus again. We're going back to the LBus, so I'll just close pulling. This one we can use the X. It will stay running in the system tray, so it's still there. So under LBus, I think some of you saw during the break how the tasks work. So that's the tasks that are coming by default with LBus. So the button task on the LBus on the right in blue in the middle. So that that is all the tasks that we give by default with LBus. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm seeing a question from Brad. Pressing control from LBus main menu. Their help. That's correct, Brad. So yeah, it will only activate the special option under the help menu. And you're right. After 30 seconds, you need to do it again. That's not something that is permanently activated. So every time you want to go to help and see office and log, you need to do control again. So if I go back to the task, the one that you will use the more every day and all the time, when you install LBus, it is set to execute every night automatically. So you need one thing that we are sure that every night it will run. The deploy all change is to send all the changes in the database. To be more specific, so if you modified a customer account and you change the name on LBus or an item, you change the description, change the price, the cost, or anything, only when you will deploy all change, it will get sent to the POS. This task can be run manually, so you can go here, execute, do yes, and it will do it right now. Or at 4 a.m. in my case, it will do it every night. So if you forget about it, worst case scenario is that it will be run the next night. The other tasks are less used. They are useful at some point, but I think it's better that we recommend that you use them only if our support department recommend you of using them. So the one that are important is really the deploy all change. We will use sometime deploy and replace. So what it does, it's per lane. You can erase the whole database that you have on the lane and replace it with the one from the back office. This process is slow. So if you have a big store with a lot of items, you can put the system down for 15 to 20 minutes. Well, only one lane at a time for the deploy and replace. If you use the deploy all and replace, that will put all the lane down for 15 to 20 minutes. So again, it's set to manual, so it should not be used except if the support recommend that you use it or in any specific situation. Deploy screen is when you made modification to your screen and you don't see them apply to your lane, you can do deploy screen. It will send the screen. That's very quick. It takes around 15 seconds to run, and it doesn't cause any harm to the system. So it won't put the store down. Update program will be for the auto update. So again, that's something I will recommend that you use if you reach out to support. Send soft date. That's when you're not set to change your date automatically at midnight. So let's say you have a store that is open during night and you want to change the date manually. So that will be the task that you will use. This will send the current system date to the POS, and it will bring it to the current system date. So if I do it right now, it will just tell my point of sale to register all the sales on January 25th, 2021. We do have a knowledge base article on the soft date on how to use it. So if you want, I can always send you an email with the knowledge base article for you to read. That can be something that is interesting to know how it works when you are setting it manually. Yes, Brad, you're correct. So when you do the auto update, which is that's only if we tell this is not. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my mouse. I'll just use the arrow. So here the update program. That's not how it works. But yes, if you have if you run the auto update, it will update the back office. Once the back office is finished, it will update all the lanes. Well, we don't update pin pads on our site directly. That's not something we do. It's handled normally by the middleware who will provide the pin pads. But if we have a new DLL for the bank or a new anything new, it will be deployed with the DLL with the auto update. But you won't see any difference on the pin pad themselves. So yes, when you do the auto update, if you're in a single store, it will be all the back office and all the lanes. If you're in a multi-store, we can also trigger the auto update from the central, so from the head office, and update all the stores and all the lanes at once. The startup task is a task that is, oh, I'm sorry. Well, the workstation there, even if let's say if an employee is working on them and there's something open, it will just close it for them. For the auto update, we can set up if at the POS, if they are in a transaction, it will not go through, but as soon as the transaction is finished, the auto update will apply. We have under configuration security for the auto update a range that we can set, so time range for auto update. So right now, if we're between 1 and 5 in the morning, and there's an update coming in, it will go away. It will apply right away. The process for the auto update per store, it's around half an hour, and it's done. So, and here, just to be clear, the flag that are on the left does not apply for one field or the other. This is something, let's say, you need to see it like if there was a line and the time range for auto update is really something specific and separated from the rest. But yes, if you're doing the auto update during the day and someone is in maintenance changing item description and the LBOS decide to send the auto update right now, the person who is working in maintenance will lose what they have done and the auto update will apply right now. And on the lanes, if you're in a transaction, it will wait for you to finish a transaction. But as soon as you finish the transaction, it will do the update right away. So that's why it's important to set up the range properly for the auto update, so you avoid doing it while the store is open. And I lost where I was. Yes, sorry, I was showing the task. And I lost my mouse. Okay, so startup is something, it's doing internal process. Oh, it's okay, Brad. Normally I'm good and I remember what I was doing, but I guess it's a tough Monday for me today. I'm a little bit tired, more tired than usual. So that's all right. And there will also be a free question at the end, but I believe someone wants to see how to resize the POS, so I'll show how to resize the POS for sure when we're done with the task. But that's good question. I'm writing them down and trying to plan ahead for future training to have the information ready. And I can see that many people are interested in the auto update. That's for us a new feature. It was added not long ago. That's something we have to talk about to promote. To continue with the task, most of the others are maintenance tasks, so they are run automatically in the system. You don't have to take care of it. Account maintenance and account cache maintenance are not used anymore. They are still there for some customer who are using older system, but we don't use them. Interest, I will show you in depth how to configure it for the customer, but we can charge customer in interest if they have charge on their account. The backup is every day. The system will back up all its tables. So we have 7 days of backup that we keep in the system all the time. So if an item was changed or something happened and someone lost information, or we want to verify how it was configured a few days ago, we do have a database backup that is made by the system. And the full backup, that's an LBO, if I remember. Yeah. So the full backup is an LBO. It's a full system backup that you can send us, that we can use to load the system here at the office to work with, or if you want to work with a backup from your customer in your own office. And that will be not all for the task. We can also add our own task. So the way it works with task is that we call an SQL file. So I just wanted to show an example here. If I go to daily maintenance, so we call an SQL file to do the task. We have different options, so we can do it manual, schedule, repeat it depending on the cycle we want. This is to decide if we want where we want to execute it. Most of the time, it will be executed on controller. When we say controller, we're referring to the server, the 901. So that's the LBOSS server. So it is very flexible when we do a task. We can export a report. We can email reports to customers. We can export information for an e-commerce website that we could set up. So it can be your own SQL command too. It's not, you don't have to follow the one that are default with the system. We do offer the service of writing SQL commands to do some specific task or to export, import information into the system. On Friday, I will show how to use the import tool. It will be very, very, let's say, simple. I will not go into a very complicated import, but just to show you that it is available and that you have access to this type of tools to help your customer. But using an SQL command allow us to nearly retrieve or extract any information from the system, have it under a CSV, Excel file, send it by email to your customer. So the task is a great tool if we want to automate some process, and it will be really used when we need to get some information specific or update items on a website. Of course, it will be mostly case by case for everyone, but that's something that we cannot neglect, let's say, for the system. So if you have any question on task, I don't want to, let's say, if I go in depth on everything, we'll still be there next week. So I don't want to be too long on that. But if you have any specific question on how the task work or stuff, so then, do you have any other question in general for me today? Otherwise, I will go to show how to resize the POS, even though we will still do it later this week. Okay. So let's go with the POS on how to resize it. So before we do it, I have to explain that between LBOS and LPOS, oh, sorry, I see there isn't. It would be nice for you to show us the resize now, because it's okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I guess I have a bigger resolution and I'm okay with it, or I'm used to it. So the way to resize the POS, there is two things I have to just explain before. When you go to POS setup, we have buttons and form and zone. There is a relation between the two. The zone, the way it works is that if we click on it, that's what we can decide to resize the POS. So if we want to resize the POS, we have to go zone by zone. So by default, that's if you notice, that's the size of my POS. Oh, I moved that. In reality, if I exit again, I don't want to save. If I position my POS in the same corner, it matched the size that I was having in the zone window. So to resize it, I have to there is multiple zones. So if I reduce this one using the arrow, and I reduce this one. So each zone is individual. So you can't just resize the whole thing. You have to go zone by zone using the arrow. If I exit, now it will be shrink a little bit from the right. So you see it's hiding my buttons, the thing is. So even if we make it smaller, you might lose some buttons that you have on screen. If you want to get rid of the customer monitor, we can just go under buttons and form. So now that's the window for buttons and forms. You see under the exclamation mark, button, you have two tabs. One is called function and the other one is called forms. When we click on forms, we see the following window appear. So we can select the customer monitor and we can do form by form to remove the load, so it will not load the screen. So we have to go back again to function, form, select the other one, uncheck. Again, we go back, uncheck the load for the customer monitor only. 23. Function, forms, uncheck. So if I exit the setup now, the time that it deployed the change, I don't have my customer screen anymore. Of course, by reducing the zone, my setup look a little bit weird. But if you want to make it smaller, you have to do it form by form. But you will also have to remove the buttons that that were there, so that you're hiding. Oh, sure. So to remove the customer screen, you go to POS setups, buttons and forms. We go to the form tab. We select from the drop down at the top customer monitor. After that, we go form by form. So there's 9, 7, 21, 25, 23, and 20. So if we select 9, we make sure that under the load column that the checkbox is unchecked, so it doesn't load when the system starts. And you need to do, after that, you go back to function, you go back again to form, you select the next one, 7, you uncheck again the load check mark. We go back to function, form, 21, we also make sure that it is unchecked. And we do all of them like that. Is everyone following me? Am I going too fast? Yeah, I do understand what you're saying here, Brad, but there is one that exists, but it's not really user friendly. So I prefer to show you how to do it with the interface than using the no customer screen. It depend. It will be trigger if you have a. So is yeah. Unfortunately, I agree with you. There is a. Let me see if I can trigger it because it's not manual. It's something automatic and it need to detect. Since I have I don't have two screens since I'm using the virtual machine. If you have two monitors, it will not be triggered automatically. You will not be able to remove all of them at once. If you have one monitor, it will work. And it's when the POS starts. So I just put back my customer screen with one form. I think if I restart it, I will get the prompt to ask me, trying to load something on a non-existent screen. Do you want to remove it or not? We'll see. And I also have a way of doing it quickly with the interface, but yeah, so no, when it detects that you have, oh, here it is. So here it say POS system form are trying to load onto a non-existent screen. Would you like to remove this form now? If I say yes, it will get rid of the customer screen. But if you have two monitors, you can't do that. You need to turn off one monitor, restart your POS, and after that, it will ask you if you want to remove them or not. So now it's doing it, and it will be gone. I do understand it's not the most elegant way of doing it, but it still achieves what we're looking for. Is it answering the question on how to resize the screen, or do you have any extra inquiry that you're looking for? Do you guys have any question, or can we go to the next part module for today? Oh yeah, and if you want to move something, you can just click on it, grab it, drag it, and it will move for the zone. Just trying to make my screen look better. We will go then to the next part very quickly. Just to I'll just make sure I have mentioned everything I was supposed to say. Seems like it. So, yeah, so it still not look great. I'll just make my POS look okay. I feel like many of you are playing with your zones and resizing everything right now. Might not be listening to me. So, okay, so now it's better. So we will do a little bit. So we, yes, Brad, we can save the screen. So yeah, let's. I don't mind being sidetracked again. Don't worry. And there's special on LBus. If you see, sorry, if you see beside on the left of help, you have special, and the program is called file maintenance. If you launch this program, it's the tool that we use to back up each individual table from the software. So under the edit menu, you have an option called. Sorry, my mouse is being crazy. You have an option called select screen related files. And if you highlight that, it will select all the tables that are used for the screen configuration. So they will be all in blue highlighted. You can do backup. You want to backup. And the file will be automatically save under help, not help, but office backup. And all the 5 tables are there, and you can copy them to any location, and you can use file maintenance to restore them into a different store, and the store will start using the screen that you bring them. Probably. I do understand that you. Me neither. I might not remember it, but let me see. I think there might be one. Actually, it doesn't seem to be that specific. So I think it would be a good idea that we make one just for the screens. Screen. Yeah, there is one called copy screen. We do have an article on that actually. It's 1302. If you have anything to write it down under our knowledge base, and it explains how to copy the screen from a store to a central. But it's exactly the same process from store to store. So if you want to go with the, I will write it down on my notes to send it to everyone at the end of the training on Friday. But yeah, so knowledge base 1302 does explain step by step how to copy from screen from one store to another. I'm not sure to understand, Brad here. Oh, that yeah, we can do. Well, by default, the way it works with LBus and LBus, let's say if we go with our current system, all lanes are the same. So when you do modification on lane 1, let's say if I go to buttons and form and do the modification on the where's my mouse again, on lane 1 in buttons and form, at the top we can see group PAL, so that's program all lanes. So of course, if I do the change right now on lane 1, it will only apply to lane 1. But tonight at 4 in the morning, when my deploy all change run, it will go to all the lanes. So by default, all the terminals are the same. So if you want to deploy something you did on one lane, you just do a deploy all chain and it will update all of them at once. And this deploy is not really long. It takes 15 seconds to apply to the lane, so it doesn't put them down. But So we need to keep in mind that when we modify one lane, we're also modifying all the other lanes. If we want to have unique lanes, we can do groups. So we can define each lane instead of be programmable lane, they will have all different configuration, or we can mix them together. Let's say we have 3 lanes for a grocery store. We can have 2 lanes for coffee shops. So the 2 lanes, you can modify any of them and it will apply to both. Let's say for the coffee shop, and if you but it won't affect the lanes that are being used for the grocery part of the store. But if you add the subdepartment button to the grocery for dairy product, it will only update the 3 lanes that are being used in the grocery part of your store. Am I making sense? You guys have any other question? I don't think we will start the next part today. I think it will be better to start tomorrow. I don't think in 9 minutes I can achieve anything for the. We will be talking tomorrow on the maintenance program. So maintenance is on LBOSS, the first year program. So that will include a lot of information. So we're going to how do we exist the first time? You need to do Control F10 on your keyboard, Tom, to close the POS. So Control and the F10 key. I always forgot about this message. Yeah, so just to continue, so tomorrow we'll be looking at the maintenance program. So that's where we control all the items, customer, operator, subdepartment, department, etc. So we will go in depth with that. That will cover most of our time. There's a lot of options. I will not go on every option and every details to explain them. How they work, but it will give you the basic and seeing what can be done and achieved using the program. For that, okay, hold on. I'm just sorry. I was trying to read Crystal message at the same time, and I'm not able to do 2 times at once anymore. Two things at once. So sorry. You want me to show you how to turn off the full screen? You mean on the POS, Crystal? I'm not sure to understand, Crystal. Yes, Remy, you may. I was asking if I think they missed it in the first time. Yes. So I'm going to the POS setup system AD. So AD first here. So if you can see the button AD to remove the full screen. And you can do Control F to search when you are in the advanced window. Look for full screen. And right now for me it's false, but if you want to turn it off, you just need to double click in the current value field. It will switch from true to false. Same thing with the customer monitor. So it will switch from true to false if you double click. You make sure both are false. And you exit by pressing OK on all the option. And yes, Remy, if you want to call me or email me, you can. I believe everyone have my email, and if you look in the signature, you will have my direct extension. And we can talk for sure. If you have any question or something that doesn't work after today training, I'm still in the office for an hour. Well, I'm in the office, but at home. But I'll still be working for the next hour. So if you have any question or interrogation, you can always give me a call. I will also a syllabus. I'm not quite sure, Crystal, what it means. I'm sorry. Let me Google that. Oh, you mean yeah? I'm working on one. I didn't know it was called like that. I learned something today. But if you want me to send you the program and the details, I will send them to you. It's not very detailed, but it will outline what we will be doing for the next 4 days. So I will prepare the video for today that I will send to you, and I'll send you the details that we will be covering for the next few days, so it gives you an idea for sure. That's a great idea. I'll get that ready very shortly and send it to you before the end of the day. I'll send it to everyone. Yeah, I'll do a reply all on the meeting invite, so everyone should get it before the end of the day. So we're done for today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call or send me an email. But you can all go back to your original occupation for today, and we will see everyone tomorrow. Yeah, I'll look for my cursor. Yeah, I think it's related maybe to the working remotely, so I'll try to fix that for sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.